Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DMV Sports Update, and I'm your host, CWall, checking in as I like to do all throughout the year, all throughout the NFL season, NBA season, NHL, MLB, you name it, all seasons. Checking in to give you the latest and greatest information on what the hot topics are in DMV sports. I feel like, did I do this last week? I didn't. I was a guest on the First String podcast. Shout out to them for having me on. So I didn't do this because I knew that there would be big news happening with the Washington Commanders. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to hold off until we get some things going and have a little bit more to talk about. And that's what I did. So while you all are hopping on in the live, we have to go through our housekeeping items, you all. This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here will end up on your television screens each and every single day, Monday through Friday from 1:30 to 2:30, and on the weekends during the noon hour from 1:30 to 2:30, noon hour. And if you're watching online, you can always get the show. You can always get the show. People always say, what time does it come on? Listen, the shows are always online. So if you all are streaming right now and are in on the live discussion, if you are watching from Facebook, make sure you hit that love button and share this show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. If you are tuned into the YouTube stream, you can still hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, comment in the chat. I will try to get to as many comments as I possibly can. And another housekeeping item. You all know, what is it? You have to say hello to Mama Waller and Papa Waller. You have to say hello to them. I'm so happy that you made it, Bernard. I'm so happy Mazdak has made it. Of course, Mama Waller is saying hello to me, her youngest child, and to everybody else as well. You all join in the conversation. We're going to zip on through Wizards Talk. The Wizards are playing right now, by the way. They're playing the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. We're going to talk about them, okay? Because we have to. And the Wizards got some traction. The Wizards had some traction this week, right? They made a trade with the Detroit Pistons, and then they turned around and lost to the Detroit Pistons. So they brought on Marvin Bagley and Isaiah. I thought it was a good move. I thought it makes sense. Here's what you need to pay attention to, and I'm going to continue to say this, Wizards fans, what this year is about. And I made a comment on one of my posts. And hopefully, I don't know if you all are on the CWall stream or on the Candy Waller stream. I know I can see comments on the CWall stream. YouTubers, I can see your comments as well. So feel free to comment and share your thoughts, Wizards fans. The move is really about getting what you need for the future. That's it, right? You get some younger players, trade out your veteran players. The Detroit Pistons needed to make some cap space. They did. I truly think, and I put this on my post, I said, comment my show if you really want to know what I think about what's going on with the Wizards. I really think the player that they're building around is rookie Bilal Coulibaly. That is what I think is happening right now. I think they are building around rookie Bilal Coulibaly. Now, of course, you're looking at the team and you're like, well, how are they building around that right now? Because it's not about now. It's not about now. It's about the future. Right now, though, the Washington Wizards have a lot of picks right? They have a lot of picks along with the trade. They got 2 future second rounders as well. So you look at all the picks they received from the Bradley Beal trade as well as the Kristaps Porzingis trade. And at this point in time, it's like, hey, anybody can get traded. I don't think, we know the rumor mill is moving, right? Always have been, surrounding, Kyle Kuzma, surrounding Tyus Jones. I know there's been, fan, conversation around trading Jordan Poole, but hey, I don't think anybody is necessarily safe. And if anybody was the safest in the situation or the most safe, I do believe it would be rookie Bilal Coulibaly. That is what I believe is happening. I said, oh, I think I know exactly who they're building around. I just see where this is headed. And we'll see. But I also want to say this. The Wizards' new leadership team has not been in the building 6 months. Well, now it's 6 months, right? But they definitely haven't been in the building a whole year. And we've seen more movement to try to improve things for the better. We've seen more movement in these 6 months than we have in the last 20 years with the Wizards. Seriously, Wizards fans, tap in, love button, fire emoji. This is the most you've seen them do. And I know everybody's, because it's rough being so bad. It really is. It's rough to watch. And hey, I told you all at the beginning of the season, I said, this is going to be rough. And no one wants to listen to me. Everyone still puts their heart on their sleeve and want to go all in. And I'm like, this is not the year to do that. No, just watch for player development. Remember, I shared that with you. Continue to watch for player development. And I'm still saying, watch for player development and be very, very clear. And someone else shared this with me. A smart person shared this with me. They said, and pay attention to the things that Will Dawkins does. Pay attention to the moves that he makes. And I'm saying, hey, these are pretty good. So remains to be seen. And at the end of the day, I don't even think, and we know that Kyle Kuzma got ejected the other night. He got ejected the other day, excuse me. And the Wizards lost to the Detroit Pistons. Now, let's just be for real. The Wizards lost to the Detroit Pistons. That is just the bottom of the barrel. It is. It really is. And I hate to say that out loud, but I had to say that in the spirit of transparency with you all. That is absolutely terrible. Okay? And Kyle Kuzma and his frustration and feeling like the referee wasn't hearing him, wasn't paying attention to him, had looked him in his eye the whole night, which is really frustrated by that situation. He ended up getting ejected. Now, Kyle Kuzma is not the type of player that gets ejected. And my Bowie TV colleague, as well as one of the Inside the Wizards writers, Karita Parks, she wrote about that today. So make sure you check out that article. Is Kuz showing a little bit of frustration here? He's starting to lose his cool a little bit? Maybe. Because losing is frustrating. And I don't think, now I said the Wizards were going to be a rough watch. But I don't think anybody had them being this bad. I don't know. I don't think anybody had them this bad. We knew it was going to be bad. I shared with you all that it was going to be bad. I was honest with you all. Hey, listen, this isn't the season to have a lot of high hopes. Save your hope. Save your hope. And this is worse than anticipated. But again, I'm paying attention to this new leadership team. I like what I'm seeing from them. I like what they're doing. I like the moves that they've made. Understanding that they got to get it right when they use these picks. Even if whether they use the picks for actual players in the draft or they use these picks for collateral and trading for a veteran player, they got to get it right. But I like the way they're building. I like the way they're stacking. And I think there's a lot a lot to be garnered in the rookie Bilal Koulibaly. I think they did an excellent job in drafting the young man, and I think he's a budding player who has just all of the talent and potential in the world. And to know that he's still developing, he's still very early in his development and really understanding the NBA. This is going to be really good when he gets there. He's going to be really good. So, Wizards fans, hopefully I've given you a bit of hope. That's all that is the only hope I can give you. So there is that. Wizards, they play. Webby is in town. The Spurs are in town on Saturday. The NBA champions are in town on Sunday. Like I said, the Wizards are playing the Knicks, and we talked all about the Knicks game when we first joined in. So if you like basketball, hey, it's still cool, but it is a little bit rough to watch. If you are just tuning in, you are watching from the Culture from the Couch series, the weekly DMV Sports Update. I am your host, CWall. This is a live Bowie television recording. If you are tuned in from the CWall Sports stream, I think that's where you can comment. You may be able to comment on my personal profile too. I don't know if I fixed that issue. Drop the love button, no less. Share it with your DMV Sports loving family and friends. If you are tuned in from YouTube, you can drop a comment as well, and make sure you hit that thumbs up. The rest of this ride is Commanders. Now, Commanders fans, drop your questions in the chat, because whatever it is you like to know, I'm always here to at least try to answer your questions, Commanders fans. It's been a lot. As I said at the beginning of the show, I made a decision last week. I said, I'm not gonna have a show. I was graciously asked by the First String podcast to sit in on their show, and so that's what I did. I knew the Adam Peters news would be there sooner rather than later. So I said, hey, I'll do that. And then after the press conference next week, we'll do a show. So here we are, new GM. I want to get into some of my thoughts specifically. I do see comments about my question. Many people have asked me, what did I ask? Because they've been hearing about my question. So I will share the question and play the question here in case you all missed it. Take a listen. Hi there, Adam. Welcome to the DMV. My name is Candy Waller with Bowie Television. You've been very successful throughout your career. What are some of the things that you've learned from the not so successful moments?
All right, Candy, that's a good question. The not so successful moments, and I've had a lot. And I think you learn so much in losing, and they say you win and you learn. And that's a good saying that you always hear. But when it's a lot easier to learn in a loss than in a win. You have to really challenge yourself to learn in a win. So a lot to count. I would say that I've been very lucky to have a lot more success being around a lot of really, really smart people, a lot of very successful people. So very blessed to have that. But all of those different really experiences shaped who I am today. And so I'll take them all, and I'm happy to move forward with them and use all that experience to help us consistently compete for championships.
So there was my question. As always, you have to come prepared. You have to come saying, okay, what do I ask? Especially if by the time the mic gets to me, someone has already asked my question. So hopefully the question that was asked was something, and the answer provided was something to give you all a little bit of additional knowledge around Adam and who he is as a person, who he is as a professional. It's so interesting. I've been to several of these now, right? And I had to reflect the other day and say, wow, Wizards leadership press conference. Now, Commanders leadership press conference. And we know we're going to go through this again, right? Um, Whenever the Commanders name their new head coach. So here was a question that was asked. And I haven't seen anybody really talking about it. I've had a couple of internal conversations about the answer to this question on his thoughts surrounding the current roster. Adam Peters says, I believe that there's a few cornerstone pieces in this roster. I believe we have a lot of work to do, and that's just evaluating everybody. And that's going to start with the coaches. When we hire a head coach, we sit down together with the personnel department and we sit down and evaluate everything and figure out where we need to be. So that's an ongoing process. I started a little bit, but we have a lot of work to do. Thank you for enjoying and loving my question, everybody. But that question for me and that response for me was what I wanted to hear from that perspective. Not that I, of course, didn't want to hear anything from the other questions, but that question, that response to that question was a lot, to say the least. So with that being said, I think it was really clear, and he made it clear there's a few, but there's a lot of work to do. So this will be, this season right here, and you all have heard me say it, this season will, I like to say this phrase all the time, even though it's like we all grown, we all adults. This season will stamp who do you want to be when you grow up? What you want to do? How you want to roll out? How you want to rock this thing out? There's a lot riding on this season. It's a lot, and we're gonna probably say that every year. We're gonna say that every year. But I say that because what is it? First impressions. First impressions are everlasting. So I think that how they start out will establish what the organization wants to be known for, where you all need to be paying attention. And I can share this with you all as I have in the past. Pay attention to Senior Bowl, right? Do your homework on some of the players coming out of schools that may not be your playoff team, college football playoff team schools. This is going to be a critical season. Definitely Senior Bowl feedback, Senior Bowl grades. But hey, we know we all, sometimes we're in the media, we don't get it right with these players, right? So I just encourage people to keep in the know of what's happening Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl week starts the week of January 26th or 27th, that whole entire week. Be paying attention to that. And as things come up and as the combine gets ready to roll out and kick off, make sure you're paying attention and locked into those things. This draft is very important. This free agency, this off season, equally important. Of course, head coach and any coaching shifts. All of this is important. I always share with people, especially around this time of year, when it comes down to watching playoff teams. And this is why I start out in the beginning of the season saying, please, 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 please make sure you are watching teams other than your favorite one. Okay? Watch them. Watch them. Watch them closely, right? Don't just watch the team that the Commanders play that Sunday or that Thursday. Watch them all. Stay in the know. Look at the playoff team. Let me tell you who really, if quiet is kept, the Lions really knocked it out of the park when it comes to the draft. They got two rookies up for Rookie of the Year, right? They did an excellent job in the draft last year. Then you have the Rams. I mean, people be making moves in the draft. And these aren't like your top names. So this goes to a question that I got in. And if you all have questions, for sure, y'all know me. Drop them in the chat. So Lamar Bland is the only person who submitted some questions for me in advance. So shout out to Lamar Bland. Tag him in, let him know I'm answering his questions. First, why do you think the Commanders seem so intent on not hiring a veteran head coach as their first or second choice? So there's veteran head coaches on their list. As much as it pains me to say this, Dan Quinn, he was a head coach. Raheem Morris was a head coach. They have people on their list that have been in the head coach role and are veterans in coaching and having been in the head coach position at one point in the league. So the I don't want all of the attention even being on the coaches we think gonna get it, because I'm going to reshare that on the show too. Love button, fire emoji. If you've seen, going back, love button and fire emoji double time, because you know Adam Peters was at the top of the list. Okay. And like I continue to say, we're going to do our research. We're going to do our research at Bowie TV. I don't have to, if you haven't learned anything about me now, we know what's going on. We don't have to wait until the interview requests come out in order to do our research. We're going to go ahead and do what we got to do before the interview requests come out, because we're smart and we understand this business and we understand the Washington Commanders organization and we understand what's needed, right? Who was at the top of the list? Adam Peters and many others that were interviewed, at least talked to, at least nudged, were also on our list. So I'm gonna remind y'all, if y'all already know. So Adam Peters, we let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So, and I appreciate we gonna do our due diligence. My teammates tag in Darrell and Karita. They know my sports team, Terrence Pitts, they understand me very clearly. We gonna research this because we're smart and we can get these answers. We gonna ask the right questions and then we gonna use our brains. So that's how y'all may see me post that sometime. Use your brain. Ask the right questions. Seek the right information, right? Use your brain. Couple that together, you'll come up with some good answers to almost anything in life. Guaranteed. That's a life lesson. Sports, but life lesson for real on how to come up with a list of potential GMs for your team that fits you. So, because this wasn't the only team, right? This not the only team looking for a GM. So you have to do it based on your environment. You have to use your brain. So that's what I tell people all the time. I just said it. Use your brain. You can do a lot in life just using your brain. So, look, Dan Quinn, Raheem Morris, they've been veteran coaches. They're on the interview list. So I don't think they're intently not doing, because no, they're giving everybody a fair shot. Now, that's the direct answer to that question. What I'll add also is I think everyone's also looking at the direction and how the league is just shifting in some areas, right? They're shifting in some areas and they're really trying to look at who resonates with the next generation of players. They're also looking at which coordinators and or head coaches has seen progress, understands the landscape. You have to do your research. You have to understand your environment. You got to understand everything because this thing changes all the time. If you don't adapt, you'll die. Right? I remember a point in time I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to learn technology. I didn't want to learn certain things. Guess what? I would have been completely irrelevant if I'd have did that. Can't do that. You got to get out there and learn. You have to get out there and learn. And that's what they're looking for. The coordinators that understand analytics and okay with the analytics, but okay, couple the analytics with using your brain. It'll be a powerful thing. It's a good thing. So that's how I look at that. They do have veteran coaches on their list. The best person for the job will prevail sooner or later, but it's all going to happen very soon. Next question from Lamar. If the new regime passed on a quarterback at 2, would that be bad? Short answer, no. That would not be bad. It would not be bad. Here's where I'm even shifting in my thinking. I can't get excited about a draft pick or a free agent pick until I see the product on the field. Next year, this time, we'll evaluate how draft and free agency went. Now, in the moment, we know we got to go through the whole, draft grades, and yeah, we got to do all of that. Free agency grades, we got to do all of that. We got to do it. But I'm telling you all now, I even learned a very hard lesson this season. You better wait until you see what they do. You got to give it always. And I have said this now. You got to at least wait till about week 5. About around week 5, you can kind of see what you got, barring any injury. Because we all constantly get surprised, right? Look at the playoffs. This past weekend, we were all surprised. How certain things went down, right? We may have not been surprised at outcomes, but I could say many of us were surprised at how it all went down, though. You got to give, when you're talking evaluation, this is even if you are doing research, right? If you are a scientist and you are doing research, the reality is you're not going to know if it worked today. Ask me this in a month. Give me the 30-day check-in. Give me the 60-day check-in. Give me the 90-day check-in. Give me the 120-day check-in. Give me the 5 years down the road. Have you been a Pro Bowler? Check-in. Have you been, an All-Pro? Check-in. Let me know there. Give me the Super Bowl check-in. That's how you have to measure. And again, that's going to be a Bowie TV thing. That's going to be a CWall thing. That's going to be a Darrell and Karita and Terrence thing, because I'm going to be like, hey, look, y'all, we're going to go through this and we're going to give these draft grades. But we're going to revisit these whenever the season ends. Because that's when you know what you got. That's when you'll know. Because a good game here or there doesn't help anybody. You got to have some consistency. So, again, going back to the very short answer, it is not the end of the world. Because here's the thing. You pick a quarterback at 2. Quarterback get hurt. Quarterback don't work out. What's the first thing everybody say? Shouldn't have never picked a quarterback at 2. So it doesn't. You got to see how it all shakes out. That's how I'll say about that. I will tell you all right now, I'm not intrigued by the 2. I'm not intrigued by the number 2. I'm intrigued with the later rounds. Because, see, y'all know one thing we do at Bowie TV? Y'all want to know one thing we do? Guess one thing we do? Love button, fire emoji, if you already know. Let me go ahead and just tell you. One thing we do at Bowie TV, we take the context and we use our clues. We use our clues. That means we learn from the past. We use our lessons learned to use our clues to understand and know. that it's a whole treasure chest in the rest of those rounds. There's some gems back there. Some gems. Some diamonds in the rough back there. That's what I want to see. That. And I would like to say, I'd also be interested in knowing how it plays out to see who they feel the cornerstone pieces are. Go ahead and drop in the chat who you all think the cornerstone pieces are. A few. So we know a couple is two. We back to using our clues. Okay. Drop in the chat. We're gonna slice and dice words all together. Use your clues. We know a couple is two. A few could be three or more, right? So who are the few? Cornerstone pieces. But he wanted to let it be known we got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna tell you, because many of you are mentioning Terry and Duran. I'm really interested in knowing what's going to happen this off season with the current roster. I mean, are you just going to go ahead and move forward with trade? If some people are players going to request a trade? This is all speculation. This is just me talking out loud. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? But I would be prepared for anything to happen. If are you okay as in real life, honest, transparent, take the fandom out of it, completely objective, business first. If I have the talent, me, if I had the talent of a Terry McLaurin, do I want to stick around for another quarterback experiment? Do we know? Because here's the thing. Here's the gag, right? We don't know. We don't know who the quarterback is. We don't know. That's why everybody's sitting around looking for the number 2 pick, what they're going to do. Because you guaranteed if you pick a quarterback at number 2, that person's going to play. Whoever gets picked at number 2, whatever they do with that 2 pick, whatever they do is going to bear fruit and should be bearing fruit immediately. So, if I'm Terry McLaurin, do I want to sit around? Do I want to go through another quarterback experiment? I think that's probably my biggest question. Me, CWall. Because I wouldn't be mad at all if he didn't want to. I would be like, you know what? It has been an honor covering you. You've been a tremendous person. Oh my gosh. Truly blessed to say that, truly blessed. I wouldn't be mad at all. People will get him being mad. No. He spent a lot of time here, a lot of good years here. Where's the fruit? Somebody needs to get the fruit out of their labor at some point. Because, you can be loyal, but you also got to learn to be loyal to yourself. You got to be loyal to yourself too. You matter too. So, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know from a cornerstone current roster, that's the one that I'm like, is he going to stay? Is he going to be here? Is he going to stick this one out? All right. Okay. And if not, all right. Okay. Either way. At some point, the Commanders off season has to chill out. At some point. But that would be too much right. So maybe sooner rather than later, we'll get that. But in the meantime, you all listen. Let me share this before I close. I am honored, very, very honored to have been asked by the Women in Sports and Events DC chapter to be the event host and MC for their Women of Inspiration Awards next week. It is on Wednesday, January 24th, at the National Press Club. If you all are interested in tickets or have any questions about the event, definitely DM me. If you're on the newsletter, or if you go to www.cwallsc.com, if you are on the newsletter, then you will get the information there as well. Truly honored and blessed that they asked me to MC the event. I really, really appreciate all of the congratulatory remarks and everything that you all do to help things like that happen. Seriously, it means a lot. It truly, truly means a lot to get recognized by that group to want to host that event. It is a special event, and I'm smiling because I'm really looking forward to it. So it'll be very, very good. You all, thank you. Thank you, as always, for sticking it out. You all watch the whole show. You stick around. You ask me questions. You engage in the conversation. Keep up. Keep up. Keep up. Pay attention. There's a lot to be covered the whole entire off season. This is not going to let up. This isn't going to let up, y'all. So this, I mean, really, literally, I'm thinking like between, coach, uh, combine, senior bowl, free agency, draft, rookie camp, OTAs, training camp. This thing gonna roll right on through. And I hope you all roll right on through with me and with all of us at Bowie TV to get all of the latest and greatest information that's happening with the Commanders, with the Wizards, all throughout the DMV. If you're up the Beltway or you just want to watch some good playoff football, we got the Baltimore Ravens covered as well. You all listen. As always, thank you so much. And I'll be talking to you guys again soon.